Among them are the famous DHKPC, which is a leftist organization which carried out the attack on the American embassy back in February, which killed a couple of people there. So when you say these are all, peaceful protesters, we have to make this distinction. Otherwise, anybody who comes out on the streets to disrupt the public order will be treated as peaceful protesters. In regards
so the question, Mr. Kalin, because go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, in regards to this charge of authoritarianism, etc., again, this is really a very meaningless statement. People have been using this. I'm saying that, in fact, you have similar regulations. In the UK, for example, when Prime Minister Cameron says that there will be zero tolerance to all these disruptors, all these looters and plunderers, etc., this is considered to be a measure of protecting public order. When the police and other officials act in the same way in Istanbul, this is called authoritarianism. I'm trying to understand what's going on here. Is this a double standard or lack of understanding? Or maybe
well, Mr. Kalin,
I don't know.
How is the Istanbul police going to clear Taksim Square while allowing the protesters to stay in Gezi Park? In other words, separate what you call troublemakers from legitimate protesters. How are you going to do it? Because the mayor says it's going to continue until it's cleaned.
Well, Christian, it's not going to be any different from what happened in the Occupy Wall Street event, say in some of the parks in New York or in London and other places. That is, there are designated areas for peaceful protesters to have their protests. And those places have been designated. In Istanbul, it's the Gezi Park area. In Ankara, it's Güven Park, which is very close to the office of the Prime Minister. And for any other march, illegal demonstration, etc., obviously the police have to take a measure. I'll give you one example. You said, what is the concrete evidence? Last week, on the second day of the protests, on June 1st, Saturday, the Prime Minister ordered the police to leave the Taksim area and the Gezi Park. And the police left this whole area at 4 p.m. on Saturday, and we thought that this will, calm things down. The same thing happened in Ankara. Güven Park area was designated for the protesters to have their peaceful protest. Everything was going fine until 8 o'clock in the evening. Suddenly, a group of people started to march on towards the Prime Minister's office in Beşiktaş Dolmabahçe, where you had interviewed the Prime Minister, if you remember, a couple of months ago. And in Ankara, I was in the Prime Ministry building. The same group or similar groups began to march towards the building of the Prime Ministry. And of course, they had to stop. Can you imagine a situation where a group of people with sticks and molotov cocktails, etc., marching towards the White House and allowing these people to attack public property?
On that note,
so the police
Mr. Kalin,
let me just finish. I finished. The police are trying,
Mr. Kalin, we've got to stop. The show's over. Sorry, Mr. Kalin. Thank you very much indeed.